All right, I just uploaded the commons and uncommon video for Regent, so I figured I better get started on rares. Learned a couple of things. I'm going to add the music back in post. I've got some other music playing just for me that's not playing on the recording because I'm going to be sitting here for a little bit and I just wanted to keep myself entertained a little. But let's jump right in. First up, Arsenal. Now, immediately I'm going to get called out here because I like creating cards. Colorless cards typically is what the Regent creates. And this one's an interesting one. This one is not a necessary card for the deck. I have used it to good effect. It's kind of... its role is just to let you accelerate a bit faster. And I think it's good, especially because there are a couple of things that do take advantage of strength scaling, the multi-attacks, the reason vigors in the card pool, but it's not that well supported. But I don't mind an arsenal. I feel like it's pretty easy to create a lot of cards, so you end up being able to generate a lot of strength. You generate at least one strength a turn, I would say, if you're really leaning into that strategy. But it's not necessary. So I don't know where that leaves me ranking Arsenal, but it's not going to be too high. I'm going to leave Arsenal in the middle because it's good, does the job. It's not for every deck. It might even go down from here, but I think I'll figure it out as we make some more progress. Beat into shape. Now, there were a couple of uncommons in the last review that I didn't get to play a lot of, and that's going to be more common with the rares. So, Beat into shape is a card that I'll be honest, I avoided this. And let's talk about why. Rotten War is a card, I don't remember its stats offhand. Does this do... let's find out. Does this do more than Rotten War? 7 damage, Forge 5, and then both go up by 2. I've seen a lot of the design of this game. They have two if there's 2 numbers on a card, the upgrade is usually +2/+2. It's a thing I've noticed on a few cards. So Beat into Shape is a card I haven't played a lot, and compared to Rotten War, it's deal 7, Forge 5, this is worse. And again, Forge is a mechanic that the most valuable Forge card you add without building around it is just the first one, and then it drops off considerably after that. This requires you to build around Forge for each other time you've hit the enemy this turn. Again, we have this incentive for the multi-hit strategy. All right, let's roll back for a second. Again, I haven't played this card, but honestly, if you take it early, yes, playing just Beat into Shape is worse than Rotten War, but all you have to do is play 1 strike before this, and then it's deal 5, Forge 10. Deal 5, Forge 10 is a card I would take, actually. And this is going to be often that, and sometimes it's going to be more than that, and sometimes it'll be less than that. I assume it's 777. Yeah, it's always +2. If you get it early, you can take this, and then you can really focus on building around a Forge strategy. That's interesting. I also learned that if you upgrade Sovereign Blade, doesn't show up here. I don't even know how you view this, but Sovereign Blade Plus costs 1. That's the upgrade, which is... I've beaten Regent Ascension 10 and never seen that, which is insane. So you can take this early, but you can't take it late. I think that's my problem, is by the time you're in the Forge deck, I don't even know that you want this. Like, the time to take this card is when you're on the cusp of having a good forge strategy. You have some pieces and you need to pull it all together and then bam, beat into shape. That, or if you can get this early, I think you can take it. But I think relying on getting a rare early is difficult. That's interesting. I'm going to call this for sure lower than Arsenal. But you know what? I think I talked myself up a little bit. Because all you have to do is play one attack for it to forge 10, which is pretty good. I love a forge 10. I can be convinced. So we're going to put it right below Arsenal for now. And I get, you know what? Those cards do feel kind of similar. I could imagine having these kind of appear in the same window, actually. I could imagine that happening. But we'll see. Next, Big Bang. This is a card that is really easy to like because all it does is do you favors. It asks nothing of you. And I've really, really enjoyed having this card with no other forge cards in my deck. It feels even more powerful. There's a couple of effects throughout the game that let you replay things. There's an effect that lets you remove exhaust from things if you can duplicate things. You know, typically there's these cards that strictly give you value. It's easy to overvalue them. I feel like every deck I've played with Big Bang has been so powerful. And Innate's an interesting upgrade, that's right. Innate's a fine upgrade. It's not necessary. Honestly, for reasons I can't even fully explain, I think Big Bang is incredible. I mean, you can add it to every deck, and I think it makes every deck extremely powerful. I think its impact is profound. At least it has been in my decks, and maybe I'm getting lucky, but it also allows you to really start doing some broken things just by adding some enchantments to it, combining it with other effects, like decisions right here, is so much value to gain from just doing it on Big Bang. And that's probably not even the best thing decisions can do, but we'll get to that. Big Bang is an incredible card and highly recommend using it. It's impossible not to take. Bombardment. Bombardment's a fun card because there's a similar card in the Ironclad, something about a howling something. I've only played the Ironclad once, forgive me. They look very similar, but they're actually completely different the way they play out. This card plays such that you spend 3, you deal 18. Not great, but honestly could be worse. And it exhausts itself, which is the key thing the Ironclad card is missing. And so long as it's exhausted, you play it from your exhaust pile, and then it exhausts itself again. So you play it, and then it plays itself every turn after that. Or if you can exhaust it without playing it, you're dealing 18 damage every turn. I think Bombardment is a difficult card to use, but I think it's worth playing if you're able to, and worth even more so if you have a way to exhaust it, which there's not too many ways, if I recall. There's plenty of ways to transform things. I've started playing the Necrobinder, and the Necrobinder can do a lot of exhausting, but Bombardment, the Regent doesn't have quite that luxury. That said, it's still not bad, but I haven't found a good home. I haven't found an easy home for it in a lot of my decks. Do I like it more than Arsenal and Beat into Shape? I might, honestly. I like the colorless deck, and that makes me biased towards Arsenal, but Bombardment's not asking to be put in any deck. And actually, I'm gonna bump it up because of that. There's a couple of ways to generate energy that makes the casting 3 easier. It's also worth pointing out that 18 damage is sort of underwhelming in the Regent, but it is free. I'm going to leave it here for now. I think that's too high. I'm going to put it at the top here, actually, yeah. I can't put it in the A tier. Yeah, I think I'm overvaluing Bombardment at the moment. But compared to these other rares, this might be right. I might have to move all these down. But we'll see. Bombardment's not bad. Difficult to play, but it generates a lot of free value once you do. It's really interesting. Next. Bundle of Joy. It's a great name. It's great artwork. It's designed for me to like it, and alas, I do not like this card. I've never played it. I like that it can generate a lot of value. It kind of draws a lot of cards. It triggers all of your creation effects. But similar to Prophesize, it asks for 2 energy to put the cards into your hand this turn. It doesn't put upgraded colorless cards into your hands. I end up never having room for this effect. I can play a uncommon power and just spread out the colorless cards over the course of multiple turns. And I only spent 1 energy on it, and then I get more than 3 or 4 cards after a few turns. I don't like this card. And I don't even like it in the deck that it is basically designed for, which is not great. It's not a great thing. So, Bundle of Joy is anything but, unfortunately. Next, Comet. Oh boy, howdy. Oh, Comet is really good. This is a big payoff for having star power, and it only asks for 5 star power, and it upgrades to dealing 44 damage. Comet is my favorite thing to use with Void form, but my god, the most amazing thing about Comet is that if you pick it up early, you skip playing Falling Star once, play Venerate, bam, Comet's on board, and it does so much. Comet's too good. It is a star power card, but the cost is so low that you hardly need to build around a star power strategy to use it. It's so good. 5 is too little for Comet. For 33 damage, it's way too little, and I love it, and I would highly recommend playing that card. Crash Landing. Crash Landing is a card that I look at and typically would think, oh, this is pretty good. Big 1 energy AoE attack with a downside. As a reminder, debris doesn't count as creating a colorless card. After I found that out, this card went down for me, for sure. This effect of dealing AoE damage is replaceable by a common called Astral Pulse. I'm not sure if you've heard me talk about it. I stopped taking Crash Landing. It fills your hand with debris. After a while, that actually becomes just too big of a downside, and you can't cast this card anymore. I think I'm wholly down on this card. I don't recommend taking Crash Landing. Yeah, it's a powerful effect for a while. Yeah, all right, these guys can go back up because Crash Landing is definitely in here. I definitely like it more than Bundle of Joy. That's true. Honestly, 5 tiers is too many. It feels like the tiers are much closer together right now, but I'm gonna piece this puzzle together. Crash Landing, it's a lot of damage for 1 energy as an AoE attack, and I won't undersell that, especially because you can combine it with something like Guards allows you to exhaust any number of or transform any number of cards. But that I wouldn't recommend it just because there's a two rare card combo. No, I'm not recommending it. I'm going to keep it in this C rank right here. That was Crash Landing. Decisions. Tell me about it. This card's a little expensive, I'm not going to lie. But, oh man, this card's good. I thought this card was just choose a skill in your hand and play it 3 times. And then the first time I played it, I drew 3 cards and I was like, oh, wow. I mean, I would love to analyze this card if it didn't have the second line of text. Like, what if this was just 6 star power, draw 3 cards? That's not bad. I can't lie, that's not bad. And then tack on play a skill for free 3 times? My problem is, I know this is broken and it's absurd. It does exhaust, so you can only use it once. So that does keep it from taking control of the entire combat. But man, this is a good card. 6 is a lot. I do believe the difference between 5 and 6 star power is considerable. It's the difference between just having to play Venerate and getting another card and having to play both of them, or upgrading Venerate or getting another effect. Like, I do think the gap is biggest between 5 and 6. But man, if you have that star generation, take decisions. Just draw 3 cards and then duplicate a defend. Gain 15 block, draw 3 cards, and still have 3 energy left over. That's such a good position to put yourself in any turn. I think decisions is great. Where do I rank it? It does ask for more than both Big Bang and Comet. It does ask for more, but I will leave it in the top right. I'll leave it at the bottom of the top. I think that's a good place for it. Dying Star. Dying Star is weird. You know, I keep expecting Dying Star to be more powerful than it is. It having ethereal is also weird. Alright, okay, let me use your words. It costs, compared to, not to keep bringing it up, compared to Astral Pulse, it costs 1 more energy and does less damage for an AoE attack. It's a big cost to cost energy and star power. It's a problem. Now, on the upside, this attacks and blocks for you. But if you can't afford to play it early, then it just exhausts itself. I want to like this card, but it either keeps exhausting itself. Is the upgrade just +2s? This could upgrade to be so much better. This could definitely do more on an upgrade. It definitely could. I love the type of defensive card that reduces strength. I think that's a really valuable effect, but I've not found it valuable on this card. Like, the timing makes it difficult with Ethereal. I have to have played it early. So I have to have spent my 3 star power and an energy just to have the privilege to set it up later in the combat. It's not that bad. This card is very middle of the road, but it's pretty disappointing. I'm back to that word from the last video. This is a disappointing card. Like, it's definitely better than Crash Landing. But do I like it more than Beaten to Shape? Yeah, I like it more than Beaten to Shape. I like it more than Arsenal. I like it more than Bombardment. That makes me put it in A tier, which feels crazy because it's not. Yeah, because Dying Star can't go in A tier. So Dying Star goes right in the middle. That's correct. Beaten to Shape, yeah, below average. I think that's fair. Arsenal is probably below average. Bombardment's definitely below average. And in fact, I'm going to move Bombardment below Arsenal. Crash Landing's at the bottom. I'm just so disappointed in Crash Landing and Bundle of Joy. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. Yeah, so that was Dying Star. I think it's right in the middle. It should be better, and it's not, but it's still impactful. It's still impactful, and it's easy enough to play. It's never there when you want it to be. Foregone Conclusion. Foregone Conclusion is very similar to Seek from the Defect, except it costs 1, which is a big deal. However, it gives you the cards next turn, so you get your energy back by the time you use it, but you have to invest in it. That said, that's fine. Foregone Conclusion's great. It's the best card draw spell ever, is one way to think about it. Actually, it just goes above Big Bang, probably. Oh, that's brutal. It's so good to be able to tutor for cards like this. Oops. Yeah, I think I put it above Big Bang because it's so good to be able to tutor for cards like this. The upgrade does put 3 in your hands. It's a little bit of investment, but man, it just enables the combos. And Regent has combos. Regent has things to put together. You can take this early. You don't need a strong deck. Just being able to pull your Falling Star and one other card, have that all set up. Like, this is really the Regent's playstyle, and Foregone Conclusion fits right into it. Yeah, it asks for more than Big Bang because you literally have to pay 1 energy, and Big Bang only gives you things. So I feel like it is that much harder to get into your deck, but the upside is so much higher. Yeah, I think it's close between Big Bang and Foregone Conclusion. I like that comparison a lot. That's really interesting. Let me know which card you think is better. Next, Genesis. Genesis is a star power creation card, star power generator that I like. Genesis has been really nice in the decks that I've used it in. 3 so much. But I've been very happy. I've been very happy spending 2 energy to get this into play, because then I never need to worry about star power. It turns on so many things and just makes things run nice and smoothly. And again, star power, you get your energy back. You get card efficiency by gaining star power. And I like this. I like Genesis a lot. And it can go in a lot of decks because star power is pretty common. So Genesis, you know what? Maybe A tier is a nice place for Genesis. Just right, good card. Hard to play earlier, requires setup, but the payoff is definitely there. Yeah, I feel like it might be closer to Dying Star than it is to the S tier, but let's leave it there for now. I feel pretty good about that. Guards, yes. What an incredible character. This character's great. Transform any number of cards in your hand into Minion Sacrifice. You know, when I first looked at this card, I wasn't too impressed by it, and I'm still not super impressed by it. But the card's basically always good. I can't think of a situation. That's not true. I can think of situations where this card's not good. But because it protects you so effectively, the thing you really want to do is you want to use this on a turn you're getting attacked a lot, obviously. But you also want to be able to use this on a turn where you can transform a number of cards and leave some minion sacrifices in your deck. You want to have some left over. You want to spend it because it exhausts. Once you play this, it's done, which is good because it transforms a lot to be effective. But it's sort of similar to Particle Wall, where it just scales up to as much block as you need in the moment. So you need 34 block. Great. Transform 4 cards. Transform your hands. Boom. You're blocked. You're done. You're taken care of. You're safe. And there are ways to generate things to transform that you don't want, which is how the Regent's designed. And I think Guards suits it well. Guards is a card that isn't getting changed at all through version 1. Like, this is really quintessential version of this card. It costs 2 energy. That is correct. Any number of cards, upgrades to minion sacrifices, all these numbers are like right on the money. Which isn't to say it's a broken card or too powerful. It probably, actually, no, let's call it, I think it's a good card. I think it's a good A tier card. I like that a lot. I was thinking of calling it middle of the road, but no, it's in the middle of the good cards. That's where it is. I think that makes a lot of sense. Good job, guards. I love these minions. Heavenly Drill. Funny, I think I have had this card in my deck, and I think I never cast it. So here's one of the cards that lets you hit multiple times, and it can hit multiple times if it's 4 or more. Like I said, I had it in a deck and I never played it. If I was on floor 0 and I was offered this card, I could deal 24 damage with it. I would basically never be able to double if it's 4 or more. I guess I just want the damage to be a little bit higher. Like if it was deal 10 damage, I would definitely be much happier with this card. But it's a little bit low and it's a little bit hard to pull off. And again, I feel like the Regent has a lot of ways to pull off big damage. Between Forge, you have the Comet. There's a couple of commons and uncommons that just say 30 or 40 damage on them. So I don't think Heavenly Drill's the way to go. I don't think this is the way to do it. I think it's fine. But if you're trying to do the multi-attack strategy, I don't want to call it a trap. It's just the least supported strategy, and it's not going to be very often where you're going to be able to pay off that strategy. Also, if you have access to energy, sure, this is a great place to put energy. You know, if you have something like Chemical X, I think this is a really fun use for Chemical X, but the use cases are just so minimal and not there that actually I'm going to put this even in C tier, but below Crash Landing. I think I like Crash Landing more than Heavenly Drill, because at least Crash Landing for 1 energy does 21 damage. The drill does 24 damage for 3 energy. It's terrifying to me. Heirloom Hammer. Heirloom Hammer. It's a colorless card. It's right up my wheel. It's right in my wheelhouse. This is the kind of card I like, right? Oh, I've got bad news for Heirloom Hammer. It's great art. It's a great idea. I really hate these cards that add cards to your hand for 2 energy. I think one of the reasons I am bothered by this so much is because if your strategy is making energy, you don't need payoffs for that. Just play cards. It works and it helps every deck to have lots of energy. You don't need to justify it by playing Prophesize Heirloom Hammer's fine. The times that I have been able to cast an Heirloom Hammer, I've just never had a colorless card in my hands that was worth copying. So then it just ends up being 2 energy for 17 damage, which is technically like right below market rate. I don't like Heirloom Hammer. I like it, but I haven't been able to use it well. And I don't know that 2 energy is where I want to be for this. Yeah, and I don't know what it would take to fix it. If it did more damage, obviously that would help, but this is a card I've generally not been very happy with. And I think it is hard to combo with. It does cost 2 energy. It asks for a lot. And you can't put it into any deck. And if you don't have a colorless card to use, it's not worth putting in your deck. Like the floor on this card is pretty low. I'm not into that. Where does that mean I rank it? I'm going to put it above the drill, but below Crash Landing. Yeah, I think that's right. Sorry, Heirloom Hammer. I'll try again. I'll try again later, but for now, I think that's what you deserve. Oh boy. I am invincible. I mean, maybe you could, if you watched my Common and Uncommon video, maybe you could guess that I Am Invincible a lot. I think I'm not exaggerating when I think it's one of the best rares in the Regent. The game, I haven't played the whole game yet. but I think this is one of the best rares in the Regent. It's a big block card. 9 block for 1 energy that's good. But then if you just sometimes the thing that really puts this card over the edge is that sometimes you don't even set up putting this card on top of your deck, and it just is there, so you gain 9 block that you didn't ask for, and that's really nice. But then plenty of times you set it up on top of your deck. You play Cosmic Indifference. You can either do 2 things. You can spend 2 energy, play I Am Invincible and Cosmic Indifference, and then you gain 24 block for that 2 energy, which is great. Or you just play Cosmic Indifference with I Am Invincible in your graveyard, and then you gain 15 block for 1 energy, which is great. The upgrade is 12. That's fine. It's still a big number. Big enough, at least. I find I Am Invincible has just been so good for me. Yeah, I think it's probably, I don't know if it's my favorite Regent card or the best Regent card, but I'm ranking it at the top. And there's a competitor in the rares, but we'll see who claims the throne. Make It So. Make It So, I feel like is a card that you unlock a little later, maybe? I'm saying I haven't seen this card a lot. But also when I have seen it, I don't care. I hate to say I'm not super intrigued by 0 energy deal damage cards. And if you play 3 skills in a turn, if this is in your discard pile, you get to deal another 6 or 9 damage. If I'm playing 3 skills, do I really need to do a single digit amount of damage? Yeah, it gets better with Vulnerable, and Vulnerable is a common theme with the Regent. But is this the payoff? I've heard people like this card, and I get liking it. The design's really good, the flavor's great, but I don't imagine it's fun. Like, it's not too bad if you have card draw. Like, literally, if you have 1 copy of Glimmer, go for it. Add this to your deck. If you have 1 copy of Glimmer and you have just a tiny bit more star power generation, like, you need a little bit of setup for it to justify putting in your deck, but it doesn't ask for a lot. To be fair, I'm being harsh. It is better than Slice, and Slice is, a mediocre card, but it's fine. You can add a Slice. Like, if I got this on floor 0, great. Now I can start building around it a little bit. I can plan ahead, and that's great. So the floor the floor on this card is really high. Well, it's higher. It's fine. So I can't be too down on it. Make It So, we're gonna put it. Yeah, I can be nicer. I'm gonna put it above Dying Star. I don't know if I'm gonna put it at the top of B or at the bottom of A. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it at the top of B. Honestly, I think that's a good place for it. I think I'm okay with that because it's not the most impactful card, but it is cool. It's just good. It's fine. Monarch's Gaze. This is such a weird card. Whenever you attack an enemy, it loses 1 strength. I should probably be reading the cards every time. So Monarch's Gaze is a power that costs 3, and whenever you attack an enemy, it loses 1 strength this turn. I don't know how I feel about this card. Is it really good? Is it the worst? It's not the worst. Here's my problem with Monarch's Gaze. When this card costs 3, I never want to add this to my deck. When it costs 0, I exclusively want to add only this card and nothing else to my deck. When it costs 2, like when it's upgraded, that's closer to 3 than 0. Like, I love playing this for 0. And there's ways to play it for 0, but that's not a great argument for it. So I think I don't like this card that much. It asks for so much, and it gives you a little bit. It does. The thing that I learned about it is that it does count the number of attacks in a single card. So again, it's another. There's all these payoffs for this multi-attack strategy, but it feels. But what are you gonna do? So walk me through. You play Monarch's Gaze. You play Monarch's Gaze Plus for 2, and you have 2 more energy. So your big strategy is to play Monarch's Gaze and then play Heavenly Drill for 2, and then you dealt 16 damage and reduced their strength by 2 for 4 energy? That's your big play? I don't get it. Like, these are the cards in that archetype, and it doesn't come together for me. That said, Monarch's Gaze does not need to be in that archetype. This card is usable in any deck so long as you can cast it. And that's the only hurdle you have to get over with Monarch's Gaze. I'm pretty disappointed in Monarch's Gaze. I'm not interested in it. But I do think I can put it... Oh, poor Heirloom Hammer. I'm putting it above Heirloom Hammer. I don't like Heirloom Hammer. That's a shame. I want to like Heirloom Hammer. Someone's going to tell me about a time they copied like Master of Strategy or something and popped off, and I'm jealous. I wish I could do that. I haven't yet. One day. Neutron Aegis. 1 star. Sorry. Neutron Aegis is 1 energy and 5 star power. For a power that gives you 8 plating and 11 plating when upgraded. Plating's a pretty good mechanic. This card's pretty expensive. 5 star power and 1 energy is a lot, but 8, you always want 8 plating. How much block is that? 15, 21, 26, 36 block in total. For 1 energy and 5 star power. It almost sounds underwhelming when I put it that way, but only almost. And plating scales when you have more plating. It's the anti-poison. I think plating's a really great mechanic. I think it's very clever. I think it's well designed. And this card is a good source of a lot of plating. It's true. It very much is. It's just a little expensive. It's the kind of thing I like playing for free. I'm really alluding to a card later. Do I take this card? Yeah, I take it occasionally. It's just you just gotta have the deck that can handle playing it. But it's not too bad. I think the hardest thing about Neutron Aegis is that when you finally can cast it by paying the energy and 5 star power, it only blocks for 8 on that first turn, and that's not a lot. And you got to use the rest of your... Like, you have to have built up resources to cast it, and then you need to play this and then use the rest of your resources to make sure you're still not dead the same turn you play it. And then you can start getting plating. So it does ask for a lot, but it's fine. I think it's a very middle-of-the-road card. It's not broken. It could maybe even use a little TLC, but... nothing crazy. I think it's right about where it needs to be. We're going to call Neutron Aegis. You can also put it in any deck. That's really important. Yeah, I don't like Dying Star. It's so disappointing. I'm going to put it right in the middle of Make Its Own Dying Star. Definitely a middle of the pack road card. Middle of the... It's definitely... What did I just say? It's definitely a middle of the pack card. That's what it is. Royalties for 1 energy. It's a power that says at the end of combat, gain 30 golds. And on upgrade, gain 35. I didn't know the upgrade was 35. I assumed it was 40, and it's not. That's really funny. Royalties is interesting. Boy. It's a legacy of cards that don't do anything for you during combat. We had the Watcher, who could cast Wish to gain gold, and that costs 3 energy. You have the Defects, who can heal at end of combat for 1 energy. And now we have Royalties. This is a perfect card for this character. Oh, I'm supposed to rank this. This card's not good. Objectively is terrible in combat. How do you value getting 35 gold by wasting a card drawn and an energy? And if you don't cast it, it's a curse still sitting in your deck that you can't cast. I've taken this card before and it doesn't work out. I don't think you should take this card. I think in general, like, you want to be comfy by the time you take this card. But if you're comfy, then you don't need this card. So I don't recommend taking Royalties as much as I would love to recommend taking Royalties. I'm actually going to put it, I am going to put it below Heirloom Hammer and above the Drill because it is usable, but I think this is the right place for it. Man, I don't like Bundle of Joy. It's true. Seeking Edge. 1 energy for a power that forges 7, and Sovereign Blade now deals damage to all enemies. It upgrades to Forge 11. Seeking Edge is a great card. This is a nice card in any deck as an AoE effect. I've really appreciated getting Seeking Edge. If it's a great card to get early, it's weird because it's not a payoff for Sovereign Blade, so to speak. It does a necessary job. It gives you an AoE effect, and for 1 energy, I think it's worth it. The Forge is a little low. If it was just 1 higher, just 1. If it was 8 and 12, that way when you increase it by 50%, it rounds correctly instead of rounding down. Like, it's just we're so close. But honestly, I'm already taking it pretty highly. In any deck, to just have a 2 energy attack card retain in your hand that does AoE damage. 17 AoE damage is fine. That's great. I'm a big fan of Seeking Edge. It's a generous card. It asks for little, and it solves a big problem for you. I'm gonna put Seeking Edge. It's right in between S and A tier for me, but I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier because it's not busted like the S tier cards are. That feels good. Next, 7 stars. Oh boy. Oh man. First of all, what's this artwork? What's happening here? What is this? Who are these minions? Are these space creatures? This is red. This isn't space. These are stars. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 stars. You can imagine a 7th, but if I can imagine a 7th, I can imagine an 8th. What is going on with this artwork? Anyway, 7 stars is really good. There's no reason for this card to deal AoE damage. It's so much more impactful because it does AoE damage. And it does, what's 7? I always forget what 7 times 7 is. 49. I had to look it up. My brain was breaking. 49 damage. 49? 49? That's so much why is this card so overtuned? I guess it costs 7 star power. My problem is there's ways to cast cards for free. And also 7 star power, fine. 49 damage to everything, fine. I'll get 7 star power, I'll figure it out. Also, it does damage scaling. with strength because it hits multiple times and hits multiple enemies. So it scales and then scales again. This card's so powerful. This card's so powerful. If you get the chance to play this card, find any and every excuse to get the star power to play it. Oh my, oh my. It asks a lot. It does ask for a lot. It's true. But give it what it wants. It's worth it. Man. I don't know where to rank it because it does ask so much more than, like, it is like right around here because they're so similar. I'll probably just put it below Comet Storm. Just. It does AoE damage. It's so good. That's so incredible. I think I'm going to leave it here. Yeah, it does so much damage. What does it upgrade to? 9 and 9? Oh, it costs 1. I'll be honest, I didn't even notice that it costs 2 energy. That's fine. I'll pay any amount to deal 49 damage to everything. It's so much. It's crazy. It asks for a lot, but it's worth it. There's no other way to say it. The upgrade's actually not even that great. Like 1 energy, that's fine, but yeah, I'm gonna put it number 3 in S tier. Sword Sage. Sword Sage is a 2 energy power that increases the cost of Sovereign Blade by 1, but makes Sovereign Blade hit twice. This is one of the, I think this is one of the best designed Regent cards. This is really right on the cusp. Increase the cost of Sovereign Blade by 1, and it hits an additional time. And on upgrade, it only costs 1 energy. This effect is so powerful, and the fact that Sovereign Blade retains really gives you the luxury to play Sovereign Blade when you're ready. And you get to benefit from the strength scaling multi-attack stuff. I do think the cost going up by 1 is kind of a big deal, but because it retains, you don't have to, you are not a victim of the increased energy costs. You can deal with it in your own time, and that's great. That said, the harder cost is putting this down in the first place, because this doesn't forge, it doesn't protect you, it just makes Sovereign Blade really big and powerful. So it is a setup cost, but this, I would think I would call this the real payoff for the quote-unquote Sovereign Blade deck. Like, this is the reason why you want to keep getting forge cards and playing. Like, this is the best payoff, I think. That said, it is narrow. It fits only in that archetype, which does hold it back. But I think it's very good. You can't fit it everywhere. That makes me want to call it A tier, maybe the bottom of A tier. Yeah, I think it's very impactful. Sword Sage. The Smith. This is a fun card. Man, we love us some big numbers. I do think 4 is a big cost for this effect, but that's the biggest forge in the game. And upgrading to Forge 40, this card it's really good at 30. Like it's really powerful, unupgraded, but upgrading it to Forge 40 really pushes it over the edge. Like suddenly you're doubling effects and your vulnerable effects. Like it's so much more potent if you can upgrade this card. And 4, it is a cost, but it's not a lot. And it is worth it. And it costs 1 energy as well, but this card's that's a big number. And that big number will bash some faces. And the nice thing compared to the last card is that this card doesn't ask you to be in any particular deck. If this is your only Forge card, then it's doing everything you need it to do. I'm going to put it right around the same tier. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think... Ooh. I'm gonna put it below guards. I think it's stronger than guards, but it does ask for more. No, it doesn't. That's a lie. I'm putting it above guards. I'm still gonna put it below Seeking Edge. But the Smith is a nice win condition. It's a really good win condition in any deck. Next, Tyranny. 1 energy power. At the start of your turn, draw a card and exhaust a card from your hands. On an upgrade, this is innate. I haven't been super impressed with Tyranny. This is uniquely one of the few ways you can exhaust things with the Regent, which is nice. I haven't gotten to play this card a lot, so I've not been able to see a lot of interactions with this card. But for the most part, it's fine. It's 1 energy to draw a card every turn, and that's great. The exhaust is not too big a deal. It's sometimes helpful. It's sometimes useless. But being able to exhaust status, having an effect that exhausts statuses and things like that, it's just fine. I think you rank this right around most pay 1, draw 1 effects in the game. And what is that? Where do you rank that? It's fine. It's not broken. It's just perfectly reasonable. That makes it a B, above Dying Star, right below Plating. Plating can be much more impactful. Get it? Not much more. But I'm going to leave it right below the Plating card. And last but not least, this is a much shorter video than last time, which is very nice for me. But 3 energy, you play Void Form, a power that ends your turn. Also, the first 2 cards you play every turn are free, meaning no energy and no star power cost to the first 2 cards you play every turn. Void Form, sort of like Echo Form from the Defect. You put it in your deck and your Defect is so much more powerful suddenly. Except with Void Form, the effect is on the first 2 cards you play, not just the first 1. I think Void Form is going to get nerfed, and I think the first card you play each turn is free to play. I think that's going to be the base card at 3 energy, and then the upgraded version will be the first 2 cards. I've never upgraded Void Form, and it's felt monumentally powerful. Every deck with a Void Form turns into a Void Form deck. You take Void Form, and then you just take every most powerful, expensive card you see. And you've seen some of them. They are... where's this one? Where's the 7-star power? 7 stars is so ridiculously powerful. Comet is a humongous payoff for Void Form. And Monarch's Gaze, Void Form is so good. Take it, put it in every deck, and then roll through your runs. It feels so unfair right now. Yes, it costs a lot. There's ways to get block without spending energy. This character's really good, and Void Form is so powerful in it, and this card has to get... I can't imagine the card staying at base power. The first 2 cards are... The first 2? There's no reason to do that. This card's so powerful. What did I say was the best card? The block card? I do think I Am Invincible is incredible. It's true. But, man, Void Form... Void Form wins. It's too good. It can go in every deck, and it makes every deck super powerful. It's such a weird... It's almost poorly designed because it just makes any deck so powerful. yeah, I would be shocked if this card doesn't get nerfed. And that's it. These are the Regent Rares. I Am Invincible has been really a standout for me personally. I really enjoy the decks that play it, and it's a really great piece of a powerful engine for blocking in the Regent in a way that's like kind of unique. It's hard for the Regent to block that much sometimes. Really interesting cards. I really like the kind of range of the style of cards where you have things like Royalties, the power that just makes your run better. You have Big Bang, which is this like what's the silent card? Adrenaline, I think it's called, that just gives you value. You have that kind of card. You have pieces of combos. You have just big attacks. I mean, the range on the rares in the Regent is actually really fun. I just wish Bundle of Joy was better. That would be swell. And I would love to sort of brainstorm what would make this card better, what would make me play it. And I think I want to do a video like that. I want to do a video where I go through each of the cards with how I would rebalance them. I just set up my Patreon at patreon.com/SpireEd, and I don't know that there's a way to message me there for free yet. If there isn't, I need to set that up because I do want people to reach out to me. But leave comments in YouTube. Anyway, that's the Regent. Those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for checking this out, watching this video. I had a lot of fun playing the Regent. There are a couple of things about the Regent that I still want to talk about, things like events and relics and special cards, multiplayer cards, and I feel like that does deserve its own video, kind of putting all those things together. Also talking about colorless cards. Do I want to talk about colorless cards quick? Do I want to end this video by talking about colorless cards? I'm gonna do a bonus. I'm gonna do it right now. Let's get this out of the way. I really don't want to spend too much time. There's a lot of colorless cards to go through. I'm just gonna handpick some. Okay, I'm gonna handpick some colorless cards to talk about. I'm not gonna talk about everything. A quick scroll through. Are there any commons worth noting? Mayhem's a good example of like I like playing things for free, and Mayhem does that effect as well. So I've liked getting Mayhem in my decks when that comes up. I've gotten Skrull a couple of times and I've never cast it. That's weird. Salvo's honestly a lot of damage and is one of the reasons I've really liked Salvo. The Gambit terrifies me. I think it's a great design, but it's a terrifying card. Yeah, not much to say on the rares. The rares that you recognize that are good are still good. Hidden Gem's such a fun card to play. Cold Axes does so much more damage than I expected it to. Eternal Armor is more plating, which, very similar to the other card. There was a great discussion in the Slay the Spire Discord about Eternal Armor is really poorly named because it, by definition, stops defending you in 7 turns. So it's definitionally not eternal. But let's talk about uncommons that I've used with the Regents. So we have Discovery, which creates cards and creates them for 0 energy and gives you a choice. I think if this were a Regent card, it would be a very powerful Regent card. I think Discovery is very good. Fasten is a fascinating power. That pun was not intended. But it's really good. This is 5 block on your defense cards. This is a really nice effect for any of the characters. Just wanted to point that out. Finesse and Flash of Steel are fine. Finesse got a little bit of a buff, surprisingly. All certainly great. Fisticuffs combos very well with Vulnerable, so that when you do hit with Vulnerable, you deal 10 damage and gain 10 block. And there's a lot of damage scaling that you can take advantage of with Fisticuffs, which is really nice. Impatience, it's been very easy for me to activate. I think it's very easy to play a lot of cards from your hand. I have ended up with a lot of attacks, but Impatience hasn't been too much of a problem. And sometimes you play it for nothing. Sometimes you just need to play a card because the cards ask for it. And you can just play it, and that's fine. I think in Slay the Spire 1, Impatience was unplayable if you had attacks in your hands. But now you can play it, and it just has no effect, which is much better. Jack of all trades adds colorless cards. It does transform. I think that's very valuable. Can even do 2. That's really good. You know, I've seen a couple of these cards, but with the Regent, they're not particularly special. Prowess seems really powerful to me, especially because it upgrades to giving 2 of each. Anyone else notice how powerful this card is? I've seen Restlessness, but I've never been able to get to the point where my hand is empty. That's a lot harder. Shockwave's now a colorless card. That's really cool. Splash, I believe, should count as a card created. It's free to play this turn. I don't think I've been able to cast this card yet, but I would love to. This looks like fun. Thinking Ahead, incredible. Another way to put cards on top of your draw pile. Big fan. The ultimate cards are fine. Volley I have used before, but you know, it's the same thing as Starstorm or Comet Storm, whatever it's called. Except it actually does damage. Reset it. Yeah, alright. Just a quick overview of colorless cards. Get that out of the way. Because it's hard to rank them. And I feel like maybe I might do some sort of ranking how they work with each of the characters at some point, but we'll see. That'll be a long ways away. Anyway. That's it. Those are the rares for the Regent. Thanks for watching again, and I look forward to the next one.